Hi guys, so today's video is about my first year university experience. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video just because I didn't want to be too repetitive on my channel. However, I feel like I've got enough to say that it won't be too similar to other videos that I've made in the past. I've got my freshers vlog and my first term settling into university video. So if you haven't watched those, then there'll be links somewhere on the screen, and as always everything's in the description box. So please do watch those videos to get a sense of like the beginning of university kind of time. I'm gonna try not to repeat stuff from those videos too much. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Obviously the main reason that you go to university is to get an education, is to study, etc. And if you're a subscriber or you watch my videos regularly, please subscribe if you haven't, then you'll know that I study law and politics at Lancaster University. In terms of the actual academic learning side of things, I actually found first year easier than A-levels. I feel that it's probably got something to do with the fact that you have a lot of pressure on you during A-levels, especially A2, because you know that you're trying to get the grades to get into university. Whereas once you're in university, you know, there is that whole you only need 40% mentality, and it is pretty chill, to be honest. I won't say that law's an easy subject at all, but I did find it easier than A-levels. And I did politics A-level, didn't do law A-level, so law was a completely new subject to me, even though I've been interested in it all my life basically. So I've always like read about it and I knew what the course was basically, so it wasn't like a shock. But it is a new subject to me and it's a new way of learning. Lucky for me, government and politics was my best subject because it was my favourite subject, so I'm actually studying something that I really enjoy. And that was my A-star at A-level, so obviously it was something for me to build on, and it really did balance out doing law. So I know people who really didn't enjoy law or who left law, etc. But for me, I felt as though politics probably balanced out law quite a lot, and that's why I didn't struggle with law too much. In terms of exams, I know you guys want to know what my results are, but I actually do have a resit. Yeah, my exams didn't go great. I was ill for exams and I missed my last exam, which is why I have a resit. But it's not a resit because obviously I didn't do the exam. It's a first sitting. So yeah, until then, I don't have a grade to tell you. That's important. If you're ill through the year, like even if you think it's nothing serious, if you're ill through the year, take advantage of your medical services. So we have a GP's practice medical centre on campus. We have a medical centre, so what I was eventually ill with is a recurring thing, so it wasn't a one-off illness. So I made sure that I went to the GP when it was at its worst, so that, because it was as if I just felt like it might disrupt my exams, which it did end up doing. The point I was trying to get out there is make sure that you have, like, if you have illnesses, if you have stuff that may affect your exams or your work, make sure that there's medical proof of that. Because if I had just said I was ill on the last day of exams without having gone to the GP before, they wouldn't accept that. So it has to be something that you've come to the uni about before. Obviously if you like break your arm before your last exam, obviously they know that, you can prove that. But for other things, it's a lot harder to prove that, oh, this thing came out of nowhere and suddenly I can't do my exam, if that makes sense. I would say that people that want to tell you that you only need 40%, don't worry, it's only first year, they are enemies of progress. When they come near you with that nonsense, not today, Satan. They are enemies of your progress. It's only 40%. It doesn't matter. First year matters because it matters like any other year, especially if you're dependent. You know the field you're going into, you know your degree. So especially if you're in a field like mine, it matters. Don't listen to them. And why go to uni if you're going to do it's only 40%? What's the point? Because you can have a perfectly enjoyable social life and still achieve higher than 40%. Why do you have to not study at all because it's only 40%? Doesn't make sense, guys. Enemies of progress. Do your work. Do your work. Read your book. So the biggest change when you move away to uni, especially if you move out of your parents' home or wherever you're living, like if you move into halls like I have, is living with new people, living with people you've never met in your life, different people from different places. And some people have some real horror stories, like they really didn't enjoy living with the people they were living with or whatever. I'm lucky in that sense that I didn't end up living with crazy people. So there was another Nigerian living in our flat who was a guy. There was an Italian guy. There was two English guys. There was my Spanish English flatmate. That was a girl. There was my Welsh flatmate. And at first there was a Chinese girl, but she moved out and another English guy moved in. So altogether there's 5 guys and 3 girls that we live together in our flat. And obviously I think the biggest issue when you're living with people is cleaning. And even as much as we got along, that was our issue too. The one fight we had in our flat was about cleaning. And people have been brought up differently, and you're gonna have to accept that. You're gonna have to accept that people have been trained differently to you. When I say for the first month I just turned into some cleaner, my mom doesn't even believe it to this day, because at home I don't clean. And we had a cleaner who would come, but all she did was really wipe down surfaces. And if there was rubbish piling up in your kitchen, you'd get a notice that you're gonna get fined if it's not removed. So honestly, I'm sure we could save a few trees by recycling all those fines that we got, or notices for fines that we got. It was a bit ridiculous, really. It just shocks me that everyone wasn't raised like me, but at the same time, what do I expect? You know, what do I expect? That's just life. That's life. Pretty much living with people, there'll be the odd thing. So one of my flatmates always had people around, always music, always. And that's the kind of situation that can easily turn ugly. But I feel like it's not hard to just say, oh, you woke me up with your music, can you just turn it down? Done. Furthermore, you may not always get along with the people you're living with. And I've had many a time, I don't want my flatmates to get paranoid that I'm speaking about them. But there's been times where you have to just go back to the group chat with your friends from home and be like, I don't understand what kind of human being I'm living with. What, are you okay? Are you sick? Is there something wrong with your brain? Is your functioning okay? Because, yeah, I feel like people can be annoying, and you have to find a way to deal with that. You have to find a way to convey that to the person, to say to them, stop being so stop being so annoying. Which I'm still figuring out how to do that, how to say that. Finances and eating, because finances and eating, it is so easy. Student loan drops in your account at the beginning of October, end of September, whenever you start uni, and you feel like you're living life. If you're like me, you've watched so many videos on uni experiences, you've heard people talk about this, you've read the blog post, you've read the advice, and you think, not me, I'll be responsible with my student loan. It's impossible. How can me? Yeah, that was me. My finances were so... I feel like that's going to be a whole video on its own, so let me not talk too much now. But simple as, you can't have your student loan sitting in your account and say that you're going to be responsible with money. Just don't. I feel as though the people that I know that handle their money best, they have a separate account. They have a savings account. And for a lot of people, you find probably a few months into uni, you realise that you need a part-time job. So I had a part-time job when I was at home. And when I got to uni, Northwest England, I live in Southeast England. Clearly, I'm not going to be commuting to go back to my job. I was still living as if I was earning money. And very quickly you realise you can't spend like that if you don't have a job. So by beginning of third term, I finally got a job on campus. For me, it was important to get employment in Lancaster to earn money, just because I knew that I needed that. I knew that my spending habits and stuff were just not acceptable. Get employment at uni. I feel like it's a good experience and it looks good on your CV. It shows, if you can balance that and get good grades, it shows that you're hardworking. And if you're looking for employment, always start looking on campus, in my opinion. And I did look for employment in town as well, but it's a lot harder because some of them may not accommodate for you being a student. Maybe they might want you when you're going to be at home, or maybe they want you to commit throughout the year rather than just term time. So it's very easy to find term time employment only on campus because they obviously know that you're a student and they cater to that. Also, when it comes to eating, another thing that I'm going to try to do is plan my meals and get my food delivered, because it's so easy to walk past something that's on sale and you never thought you just put this packet of crisp in, you just put that bottle of drink in. By the time you get to the checkout, you spent way more than you even planned to spend on that shopping trip. So I feel as though that's a good way to shop for food. Friends, you know, as the Recess movie taught me, 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Everyone, we're social beings, we need friends, we need companionship, we need that kind of thing. And I am someone with the mentality of, I have friends, I don't need friends, you know, no new friends. So I went to uni with that mindset. I don't like people. That sounds so mean, but I'm sorry, I don't like people. I don't like meeting new people. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. That's obviously an exaggeration. Of course I want to meet new cool people, but in general I come across as very shy to people. I've worked in the same place for 3 years. My job in London, I've worked in the same place for 3 years, and people most of the time think I'm new. One of my managers said that you're the quietest person that I've ever met. I'm not quiet. I'm not. But when I'm around people that I'm not comfortable around, or when I'm around too many people that I don't know intimately, that I'm like that. So I find it very, very hard to make new friends. Like, the friends that I do have come from being around people for years and cultivating those relationships. So going to university and trying to make friends is just, I am the poster child for social awkwardness. I'm not even ashamed to say that my friends are basically my flatmates. I didn't really make too many friends outside of my flat. The people that I live with, I'm lucky that we bonded in that way and we were able to make friendships. But I'd say that next year my goal is to join more societies, and not even just join societies, because it's easy to join societies. You walk through Freshers Fair and you're signing up for everything. But I want to be active in more societies. I think that I have a few friendships among the football girls. I'd say they're acquaintances. I think, you know, the girls that like hi and bye friends, and among the football team. And also I joined my JCR, which is called the Junior Common Room. So I'm female sports rep on my JCR. Lancaster University has 8 colleges. Each college has a JCR. So I'm on the JCR for my college. And I partly did that because I have the president and the vice president are both my flatmates. But next year I am definitely going to be active in more societies, because I see my friends at other unis and I feel like their experience has been enhanced because they either went to uni with people they knew before uni, or they were active in societies and they've made wide-ranging friendships from being active in societies. And one thing that I do regret is not having friends on my course, which I'm going to try and rectify next year, because I don't have one friend on my course, and there's been so many times where it would be so helpful for me to contact someone who does my course for questions and stuff like that, even just to revise together, and I don't have that, and I don't think that's really good. To be fair, that is down to me being terrified of talking to people and not really going to my seminars. There are certain topics that I've shied away from talking about on my channel, partly because there's people that are gonna watch my videos that I don't really want to know certain things, if that makes sense. But I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I don't really care, because I'm not hiding myself, if that makes sense. I'm putting myself on the internet. I might as well be real. Having a social life at uni is important. It's definitely important. Clubbing is obviously a big part of what people define their social life with, I guess. I come from a background where my parents are slightly older, and they don't like clubbing and drinking and stuff like that. They're not fans of that at all. And my church just straight out, drinking is a sin, clubbing is a sin. The church that I've grown up in. So when I was at home, I'm pretty sure I only went clubbing once. I went out once. Okay, 1.5, because the first time I forgot my ID and I had to leave. So I have never been a big drinker or going out type of person. I've never thought it was wrong, like, so I don't agree with my parents, I don't agree with my church. I've never thought it was wrong, but I've just never engaged in that. When I got to uni, watched my Freshers Week vlog. After Freshers Week, obviously Freshers Week is a big party, that's what it is, right? And then after Freshers Week, I'd say for the month of October, so the first month of uni, probably went out twice a week. So that was the first probably month of uni. By the end of term, I was going out once or twice a term. I feel as though building your social life on just clubbing is sad. It's unnecessary. It just gets boring and repetitive. If you're in London where you can go to a different place every night and you won't go to the same place twice, new faces, different people all the time, then yeah, of course, why not? But at uni, where you know you're just going to see the same faces, same places, and hear the same music, it's just like, no. And especially in Lancaster, okay, how do I put this? I like a wide range of music. I enjoy pretty much every genre of music. However, when I'm going out, I specifically want to listen to Afrobeats and R&B. That's all I want to hear. That gets me hyped. That I have a good time when I can listen to some Afrobeats and R&B. In Lancaster, you'll go out, and there's not really a problem with R&B because everyone listens to R&B really. You just got to find the right night, the right, you know, it's not hard. You can have a good R&B time. They'll just drop one Fuse ODG song in and think that they've played their Afrobeat for the night. Listen, Fuse is doing his thing. Good on him. He's made it, yeah? I could gladly go without hearing another Fuse song in my lifetime. Not even because it's Fuse, just because the amount of times I hear it and then everyone turns to me like gas, like, ah, Kate, your song, yeah. Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm African? There's other Afrobeats artists than Fuse ODG. And the last section, I guess, the last topic to talk about would be relationships. Yeah, I'm not, okay, I've never been, you know, oh, look at that piff lighty over there. Like, I've never been that girl. I don't really want to be that girl. Oh, she's so peng, I've never been that girl. I've never particularly attracted attention in that way, really. Like, in my lifetime, that's just not me. However, when you get to uni, you do get more attention than you're used to. Still, it's not, so when I say when you're used to no attention, then you move up to a little bit of attention. That's what I mean. So I watch a lot of these videos and people talking about don't get gassed because boys try to move to you during freshers and stuff like that. Very true. Very, very true. Just because you're holding his attention now, just as you're holding someone's attention at that time, especially during freshers, especially when you've just moved, trust me, it doesn't mean that they have long-term intentions for you. It doesn't mean that they're looking to make you bae or whatever. They're probably not. Like, realistically, especially think about where you're meeting as well, because if you're meeting when everyone's intoxicated and you're a bit waved, then chances are you're not setting up a great foundation for that relationship. Most likely they're not looking for something serious. If you're not looking for something serious either, then perfect for you, innit? But if you are looking for something serious and they're not, then don't let them distract you because your parents didn't send you to university to let one yay boy just come and ruin your destiny or future, or one useless girl come and ruin your destiny and your future. That's not what your parents sent you to uni to do. So definitely, it's not that deep. Basically, when it comes to relationships and guys and stuff like that, it's not that deep. For my personal relationship status and being, I'm in this weird place, right, where I don't want to be with someone who's in Lancaster or who's at uni with me in Lancaster, because 9 times out of 10 I meet people who live up north. And I know for a fact that as soon as I'm done in Lancaster, I'm not staying longer than I have to. I'm moving back to London. I want to work and live in London. So obviously I'm not about this long distance commuting business. At the same time, I don't want to meet someone who's in London, who lives in London currently or whatever, because it's the same problem. It's long distance again, and they're going to be in London while I'm at Lancaster, and I'm in Lancaster for another 2 years. So I'm in that kind of weird position, and I haven't had a good experience with that. With relationships. I'm not the person to look at for relationship talk. But yeah, my time will come. I'm not stressed. I'm 19 and I'm not meant to have my shit together at 19. I'm not looking for relationship particularly, but I do say never, because a lot of people meet their significant other at uni, so I don't see why I won't. But that is my mindset at the moment, which is why I say I never say never. I'm not shut off to the opportunity. However, I don't want stupid distractions, and that's all that seems to be coming my way at the moment, is stupid distractions. So yeah, for someone who has nothing to say about relationships, I have a lot to say about relationships, I know. But that's pretty much the end of my university experience. I feel like I'll do a university Q&A specifically about the whole university experience, not just I'm trying to get into Cambridge, how do I do it? Like, not those questions, about the whole university experience. So leave your comments, and probably in September, I want to say when everyone's going back to uni, I'll do that Q&A, because I feel as though it's all well and good me talking about these topics, but you may have questions that don't fit into any of the categories that I've talked about. Feel free to leave them in my comment section. Don't forget about my email, thatskatecontact@gmail.com. If you've got more in-depth, longer questions, then email me there. I'm literally about to open that email when I finish this video, because it's been a while since I replied to emails. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I've got more free time now, so we'll be back to Tuesday and Friday uploads for the time being. Tell me about your university experience, what's going on with you. Please subscribe to my channel, and you'll see me in my next video. Bye, guys.